ever want, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the juk-juk bird and shun the furious bandersnatch.
It's remarkable that the reactionary establishment during the so-called democratic period embraces these films with a revolutionary message. So I think in a way they are saying sorry, or they are trying to seem more liberal. Politics in Brazil have become very unpredictable. A lot of people don't call him Gabeira anymore, call him former Gabeira. Or when they refer to the good Gabeira, they say the former Gabeira, because it's like a different person to imagine someone who is spearheaded, had such revolutionary guile, now moving so abruptly to the right. Don't forget that the presidential candidate, Bolsonaro, who is in second place behind Lula, is a champion, is an advocate of torture, is an advocate of the military regime. He has said that the biggest error of the military regime was torturing people but not killing them, that for the military regime to work, they should have killed at least 30,000 people. Those were his words, and that's the man behind Lula and the polls.
How do you see Brazil now? How do you think, Lula being arrested? What is the...
Okay, I'm going to put it this way. Mm-hmm. You have your traditional party sides, but then in addition, you may have your corporate side, which all is so powerful enough that it can almost be a party in its own right, even though it does not maybe put forward electors directly. Candidates directly. They'll support whatever suits them. It doesn't matter what the others are labeled.
The film seems to crystallise, from the discussion that was going on earlier, that whole kind of issue of post-colonial politics in some ways, because interestingly, America was mentioned. America had its own problems. Well, that's true. The subjugation of the Native American peoples and the imposition of effectively a type of European order on a very different country and very different native traditions. But there was that imposition on South America, on the former cultures that have been there as well. And it's the kind of starkness and rawness of Latin American politics which often strikes you from the West.
Yeah. You see, you mentioned the thing about, Victor mentioned about the same people who were behind the coup were also people who financed the film to some extent, yeah? Yeah. I find that odd. I mean, I don't understand that because I don't understand the message then.
So, even very reactionary establishment often tries to come across as more democratic.
Just think of them as an amoeba.
Yeah.
They change shape when it suits them.
Yeah. And there are good films being made in Brazil right now, but obviously there's a huge black cloud and a huge question mark. What's going to happen in 2 years' time? Because we are in 1966 now. We are 2 years into the soft coup.
Anyway, we have someone here that came recently from Brazil. Is Maristela Pereira. Maristela is a lawyer and, just experienced, I would say, the last occurrences in Brazil, and I think it would be great to hear from her as well.
O filme que a gente acabou de assistir mostrou pouco o que foi 64.
Yeah, the film we just watched showed a little bit what it was like in 64.
Foi período muito terrível no Brasil, principalmente por essa obscuridade de não se saber o que acontecia realmente.
It was a horrible period in Brazil, particularly because it was very obscure. No one really knew what was happening.
Eu me recordo que quando esse filme foi feito e apresentado, houve vários questionamentos da postura como havia sido apresentado, né? Porque ele mostra os revolucionários e mostra também os militares de uma forma diferente daquilo que a gente tinha conhecimento.
Okay, well, when this film was presented, the way it presented the revolutionaries and the military people was very controversial because it was slightly different from how we perceived them.
Justificando a nossa lei, que a lei da anistia, que a lei da anistia no Brasil, ela é diferente das outras leis de anistias que aconteceram na América Latina. Ela anistiou os dois lados, né? E não era assim. A lei deveria fazer com que os militares fossem julgados pelos crimes de tortura, de assassinato que foram...
Well, and that's justified by our amnesty laws. Our amnesty laws were a bit different from other places because they gave amnesty to both sides, and so the military was never tried for their horrendous crimes.
Well, honesty, in my opinion, is a very important thing in society. However, we have not had, like South Africa, a process of true reconciliation, which actually were doing a process of reparation and transformation. I went to a seminar in Oxford not long ago where actually that was the question. They said Brazil is, and the police here went as consultants to the Brazilian police just after the military coup and the dictatorship and said, if you just leave things as it is, they are likely to repeat themselves. So the police here had an idea that was not for us to just let it pass by, but actually have a process like South Africa of reconciliation and truth where people really are able to change and make a process of reparation. So obviously it's important, but it's accompanied by an understanding and a reflexivity process for transformation, which we still do to create in Brazil.
Yes.
I think you missed the point entirely here. He is not guilty. He has not committed any crime. Actually, there is no crime. You only pardon political prisoners that committed crime.
The beauty of actually working together is we add, and we add to each other. And then we co-construct a new reality that's different than anything before.
The policemen or military in the film are shown as soft and nicey people when they were actually, it wasn't shown in the film, it wasn't shown in the book either by Gabeira, that they were not only torturing people physically, they were torturing people mentally, seriously. There is no such a thing as an ex-left wing. You may have an ex-right wing sometimes that come to conscious, but there's no such a thing as an ex-left wing.
Unfortunately, I tend to disagree with you. A lot of people who are left-wing in the 70s and in the 80s in Brazil and in Europe have moved towards the right. My father was a communist in the 70s and the 80s. He now supported the coup. A lot of people who were communists, a lot of the students of the revolution in 68 in France are now Marine Le Pen supporters. So unfortunately, people do move from the left.
You know, I mean, I am definitely very firm in my position because I am pro-democracy. And I think there was a great rupture, not only democratic, but the human rights as well. Lula was arrested without evidence, I think. So I am going to support him until the end, even if I'm taking the risk of having, I don't know, a big problem in Brazil and everything going down.
Não existe provas dentro do processo que culpa o Lula de qualquer compra ou de qualquer envolvimento dele com esse apartamento pelo qual ele está respondendo como dono.
There's absolutely no proof whatsoever that Lula is the owner of the apartment, the flat. for which he's being charged.
It's about the responsibility of a position as a president. Like if you're a manager of a company and something happens in the company, maybe you're not there, you didn't see, but because you're the manager, you're going to be questioned.
That's good enough.
So like Tim, in that sense, she was the president.
It's very interesting.
So she didn't know, she should have known.
No, but they're not talking about you.
We all keep saying those things like this is so unfair, this is not right. But at the end of the day, as we speak here, he is in prison there. So I don't really get how right we could be about how unfair this whole process is.
I think here we are missing a big point. I think maybe the corporations are the most powerful, identities in our planet at the moment. Corporations can change and do anything they want inside the parliament, inside the political party. So behind all this, I think we have to start to think that who is or who are the corporations involved in the situation of Lula and Brazil.
You know, there are big corporations behind it that have their own institutions, and they're behind all these people. So it's not just that they take over Brazil, it's takeover of Latin America, especially Venezuela with the oil, and the rest of the world. I mean,
See, some big corporations even have their own university arms. In other words, their own higher education institutions, of which maybe the best known example is McDonald's University outside Chicago.
McDonald's University, what is it?
Sometimes known as Hamburger University.
The extraordinary thing about the whole Lula case, it seems to me, is like taking a prime minister like Tony Blair, but he was enormously popular when he came in. Lula seemed to sustain a great deal of that support towards the end, when people quibbled and so forth. But anyway, he was popular and he was seen as subversive in terms of what was potentially there. So, to that, outside of that aside, it seems remarkable that these charges have been forced upon him. It's as though Blair had been implicated in some holiday home, timeshare allotment sort of scam. And now they said, right, 12 years in prison, Mr. Blair, for unknowingly having diverted funds into your
real estate.
your party's accounts and somehow benefiting from that. And you think, what? What on earth is this? This is nonsensical. But this seems to be what's happened in Brazil. And you think you're rushing it through, and as somebody was perceptively saying, it's the judiciary are old families. They're going back to the conquistadors, and so it's this tradition of coercion and entitlement, which really is underlying it all. And you see a man who's come very much from grassroots, worked his way up, a man who seems to have great integrity from what I can see, and these trumped up charges seem absurd.
Brazil and UK are living a similar situation, that is Lula in Brazil and Brexit in UK.
Maybe there is hope because we formed a group called Freedom for Lula. This is the first of what we've done, and has hosted us,
Natasha Cruz Bras.
Well, to with this film to create so much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Natasha.
We will be having a website soon.
So I would say Lula free.